Wow, that's a loaded question. I'm not sure if I want to answer this one. We are going to get through this.
Let's ask my boss some hard-hitting questions. What part of the brand building process do most companies get completely wrong?
Okay. I feel like a lot of companies think that brand building is primarily maybe about aesthetics, right? And so they don't start with the end in mind, and they're only looking at it through like one dimension, which is like a logo or your colors or something like that. And it's really far more than that. It's knowing who you're trying to go after, who your buyer persona is, your avatar, and knowing what type of identity would truly reach that person and impact that person. So it's everything from really like naming to, yes, of course, being aesthetically excellent and beautiful and all of those things, but it's got to be strategic. It's got to make sure that it's actually reaching the right person and saying the right thing that you want to convey to that right person.
Explain what customer lifetime value is and why does it matter?
Customer lifetime value is a really important metric to business. It's essentially how much value your customer is driving throughout the life of them doing business with you. So the more you can get out of one customer, obviously the better, right? So this is trying to move from a one-time engagement or one-time transaction to multiple transactions over a long period of time. So, in the creative space, you can charge for a website once, like $30,000 or something like that. Or you could try to structure your agreement in a way that pays you more over a longer period of time and keeps the customer locked in, whether it be through like a maintenance retainer or some sort of a multiple month contract or some sort of ascension packages you can bring them into. Maybe it's SEO updates or unlimited upgrades for a certain amount of money per month. That over time will increase your customer lifetime value and your profit in the long run.
Can brands stay neutral on social issues today, or is that a risk?
Can you qualify the question a little bit better? Stay neutral on social issues.
Like politics, current events, controversial topics.
Wow. That is a really, really good question. Let me think about that for 1 second. The thing that comes to mind is there should be a filter where companies avoid Me Too type language in their messaging, right? And so what that means is all these other companies do this, we do it too. There's nothing unique about the way that you're communicating your value proposition or your product or whatever. It's like, that's a financial firm, we're a financial firm too. Or, that's an accounting firm, we're an accounting firm too. Me too. So translating that over to like controversial topics or, whatever the thing is of the day that is going around, I would probably put it through that same filter. Like, are you just saying me too? Or are you saying it in a way that's unique, in a way that's actually driving value, making a relative point that is really going to make a difference? Or are you just saying like, yeah, hashtag whatever the controversy is, me too? I don't know if that really does anything for your brand.
How can a campaign effectively retarget without overloading or annoying the audience?
Okay, so we're talking about retargeting versus, sort of top of funnel advertising and targeting, right? So targeting at the top of the funnel, you're just trying to say, we think our buyer persona is this type of demographic, this type of psychographic, this type of geographic. Here's where they are, here's what they're like, here's some of their behaviors. That's top of funnel. Once you've reached that person and you know who they are, and maybe they've come through some of your funnels or they've clicked through some of your ads, or you have maybe a list of some sort, then you can retarget that person. So how you keep them from being stale is you are authentic, I think, about being a retargeting strategy, right? Like they're not seeing the same creative as they did at the top of the funnel. They're not seeing the same messaging as they did at the top of the funnel. So for example, we just recently did some retargeting for a customer, and it was straightforward like this. Hey, I know you've seen our ads all the time. You haven't clicked through yet. Why might that be? You haven't purchased yet. What are you missing? Here's a couple more value propositions. Here's an offer for you to finally click that buy button. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So it's like kind of mid-funnel retarget, get them to get deeper and buy.
What's a marketing campaign from another brand that made you think, I wish I'd thought of that?
2 years ago, there was a Super Bowl commercial. Coinbase spent millions of dollars for the ad spend itself, for the placement to buy the media. And then they spend hundreds of thousands of dollars with an agency to develop their 30-second ad. And all it was a QR code that kind of does like what the DVD icon does whenever it's, in waiting mode or whatever. It just boggled around the screen. And that commercial generated like more conversions, more scan throughs, and more onboarding onto the Coinbase platform than like any other commercial had done. And so it was genius. And so I like it for multiple reasons. At some point, there was a very brave and audacious marketer that stepped up to the table and convinced them to spend millions of dollars and hundreds of thousands of dollars in creating this thing, and convinced a boardroom somewhere that would work, while everybody else is spending millions of dollars on their production. And, you've got like Clydesdale horses and all these crazy scenes. And, they're worried. These guys went all in on a very simple concept that just freaking worked. And I love that.
What's one marketing trend that you'd cancel forever, if you could?
One marketing trend that I would cancel forever. It would be like DM marketing, like a lot of the LinkedIn sales accelerator stuff, which is great. I'm sure it yields results to some extent, but it just annoys the crap out of me. I think it's, we were with a customer earlier today in a workshop talking about how everything we want to do shouldn't come across salesy or markety. We want to add value until they buy or die, but that's the MO. We add value. And so when you get those emails that are like obviously a bot of some sort or some sort of auto-generated thing that's like, hey, I see that you're a this. Have you ever thought about this service? Book a call with me or whatever. Like, I just hate those. I think it's an inauthentic way to market. It might be effective. I'm sure there's people that would disagree with me, but I would get rid of that forever.
How can you tell a brand is being authentic or if they're trying to present themselves as something they're not?
I don't know. That seems like it's more of a nuance. It's sort of like when you see it. You know what I mean? I think you can tell when somebody's truly passionate about what they're talking about and if they really know what they're talking about, versus, they're being scripted or something like that. That's why, like, when we do our content shoots and we go out and we try to get video content of people, we always push stuff like this that's more conversational, podcast style or long form interview style or question and answer, because I feel like very often people are maybe afraid to engage like this for whatever reason, and they're more like, I need a script. Scripts are great. We can provide those for customers. We can give them outlines, but it always seems like it comes across stale and with tons of decorum, and like, I just don't like that. And I feel like that being effective is coming to an end.
How much of a brand's content should be brand awareness or value add, and how much of it should push for conversions?
Okay, that's a really good question. So two like terms or concepts, you've got brand awareness, and then you've got kind of direct response marketing, right? So those are sort of like two sides of the coin, and it's not that necessarily like one's better than the other, but I think proper priority definitely needs to be in order. So with our agency, we're really big on like the organic, the brand awareness side, because we think that only heats up what we're doing from a direct response marketing. So direct response marketing would be like, you're talking about your advertising, you're talking about very call to action heavy stuff, you're talking about trying to constantly get somebody into a funnel that's dripping emails on them, and you're trying to get them to buy. All very important. We do all of that, I think, really, really well. But the thing is more often, if people see like a top of funnel ad to purchase a product or something, very often they're going to go back to the page. They're going to see what you're doing organically, right? And so if they go to a Facebook page, it's not having anything posted to it, or Instagram or YouTube or website or whatever, and there's not like fresh, helpful, value-added content that shows that you're a thought leader, that you're really killing it in your space, I think it's really going to hinder how far you can go with the direct response. I think you can get leads for sure, but it will greatly help your lead generation campaigns, your direct response campaigns, your funnels, all that stuff, if you have organic, really good, authentic, value-adding content that's underneath of it, that's being posted every day across the social channels, YouTube Shorts. You're posting blogs often about, what you're doing unique in the industry and why your product really has value.
Do you think Primanti Brothers sandwiches live up to the hype?
No. I like lots of like flavor in my food and lots of sauces and like lots of experience with what's going on. So I'm like the extra mayo on my stuff guy. I dip everything in ranch and hot sauce and barbecue sauce, and I feel like the Permane Brothers sandwich is the antithesis of that. It's like a very dry, bland sandwich with fries put on it to make it even more dry and salty, and so you're like taking a drink every time you eat it. Like, no, that crap needs like spicy mayo put on it, or like some honey sriracha, or like, I don't know, some sort of funky Polynesian sauce or something. Like, yeah, no, I'm not a fan, and I'll probably never eat another sandwich. Like, once you have it once, you're like, okay, there's fries on this, big deal.
I disagree. You can tell he didn't grow up in Pittsburgh.